For this rendering video, I'm gonna start with what I avoid the most and how I set up the structure for painting details, how to make your painting stand out more, to finally tips and tricks. First, what I avoid the most is blending tool, because when you're blending with paint rather than blending tool, it makes the art look more artistic. And when I say artistic, it just means messy brushworks because I'm lazy. The second most thing that I avoid is layers. It's much more entertaining to paint over mistakes rather than erasing those renders on specific layers. So I only use 1 or 2 layers every time I paint, because if I lose the entertainment while I paint, what's the point of painting, right? When you use layers, I just don't like to keep track of changing layers every time, as I like to go all around the canvas to be in the flow state of, having fun. And the third thing that I avoid is textured brushes. It can be good when you use it well, but most people tend to abuse it rather than use it. And it also looks a lot cleaner to use round brushes when you're going for the messy stylization. The last thing that I avoid is any kind of line work before painting or after. I just don't like it because the lines make extreme contrast that paint cannot create. So I feel like it's a way of cheating to make certain details stand out more, and I think it's just false. The only reason why you should use line work is when you do something called cell shading, which is like anime style. But it is always good to be able to express the contrast in facial anatomy with shadows and lights only. Okay. How to set up the structure. When setting up for structure, it's always important to think about how distance matters the most. And what I mean by distance is bigger blocks compared to smaller blocks. When I say distance, from this very top part to top of his mustache is about this far, and distance from this corner of the eye socket to here is about this angle, and here it sticks out and then it goes in because of the eye socket. This is where our eyes are gonna be. For the nose bridge, starts from here and then it goes down all the way to here. And these distances matter the most, because the details, you don't have to be correct every single time, but the proportions have to be correct. Here is gonna be the eyebrow, and from the eyebrow, shadow extends about this length, and then this part right here is lighter color. I'm gonna move up and then pick slightly lighter color, just paint over it. A little bit here too, because the light extends and then it shades into the shade. And here we have a little bit of bouncing light. I honestly don't know how the light bounces here, but we're gonna put a little bit of that. The looks of the shape doesn't really matter. It has to emphasize that it's a light bouncing. You have a little bit of light bouncing at the end of the nose as well. And then between the cheekbone and the nose, there's the lighter part. There's another lighter part here. And then it gets dark again. And here, the other eye is gonna approximately sit right here, because our other eye is basically right here. And the eyebrow right here. And the other eyebrow extends all the way just a little more than the eye underneath. This eye has to be more up. That's basically this side of the face right here. So for the mustache, it seems a little bit yellow because when the light hits the hair, becomes a little yellow. Here, it's actually more of a brown, deep brown, like this. Distance between the end of the eye and the mustache is a little bit closer than what I drew. I'm gonna fix it like this. Distance between the eye socket and the nose is a lot smaller than what I drew right now, so I'm gonna fix it. Well, just about this. And then from here to here is about this distance, and you have to kind of feel it like this compared to this distance. End of eyebrow is about the same length. Then compared to the eyebrow to the end, this is about the same distance as well. 1, 2, then 3. So the nose bridge is a little closer to the eye socket than what I painted here, so I'm gonna fix that. Here's the important part. To show more contrast, all the way to red, dark, then be confident with your strokes. I'm gonna emphasize the eyebrow, how eyes are shaped. Right here it's really dark because light is going from this side and the nose bridge is blocking all the light from it. Because this whole eye that's sticking out is also blocking the light to this side, I'm also gonna block this side out as well. And the length of mustache is about from here to here, which is a little longer than the eye length, or one nose part. My nose is basically like this far away. I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna also end here. because there's a shadow underneath, we're gonna add some shadow. And adding shadow, make it more vibrant, and then slide down all the way. His beard extends all the way down, but how do I know the exact distance? From here to nose is this long. From nose to the edge is this long. So that's about, if I say this is 1 and this is 1, the ratio is matched around here. And then this angle is matching with this angle, so it's basically a rectangle here. Make the rectangle some hair sticking out. Now we can get to highlight. For that, we're gonna make some hair for this guy. For the highlight, I draw tool and then pick shade color, move up a little bit between yellow and orange, go to the middle. We're just filling out some small blocks and blocks. Right here from the end of eye socket, the hair is about 1 eye long. I don't know if that makes sense. You can see that the beard extends a little bit upwards. And this is basically the shadow of the beard because this color is also this color right here. Light is going this way and there should be a shadow between your hair and the skin. That's the secondary highlight. The final highlight is going to be completely white. You know, some people say that using pure white is breaking the rule of art. I honestly don't understand. You can see that there's little highlights over the mustache as well. From the end of the eye to the end of shadow area is basically the same length as the end of the beard. You look at the picture, the shade starts here, the end starts here. It's about the same length. And you have to know these things to make the proportions better. And then there's this little ear right here, covered in hair. From the length of the top ear to the end of the hair, it's about double the ear size. Then there's a lot darker than the actual shadow here. It's not just the hair. This method applies to like any coloring, clothes, skin. They're all similar. Pick the shadow color. Some people start from the highlight to shadows, but I like to start from the shadow to highlight. It's like from dead to alive. It brings the painting alive. Color doesn't really matter. Just go a lot darker. Then paint the edges. For the eyebrows, it's a lot darker. I lack contrast in the beard and the hair area, so I'm gonna pick this darkest color of the hair and make it even more saturated and darker. I'm gonna fill this area right here with it. Always be confident with your brush stroke, because if you're not confident, it's gonna be like this transparent texture that you'll create, and that's bad. We finish our shape and you can just head on to the details afterwards. This skin needs a little bit more highlight compared to the reference picture. Paint this side a bit yellow, and then for the nose, it's closer to like pure white. Never overdo the highlight. It's gonna look wet. Or so here's like rough finish of my painting for this reference. How to make your painting stand out more. You draw from a reference and there's light hitting from this side. You want to make the light stand out more. It's really easy. Choose a really bright yellowish color. Add glow. Pick your airbrush. Make it big enough that it fits the whole forehead. Just press it and your painting comes back to life. This is a lot better than this. Look. So if you add a glow to another layer and gently pressure it on places where the light source hits, this makes the light stand out and your painting just looks 100 times better. On top of that, to make your painting more stand out, and I'm not saying this because I don't know how to draw a background, avoid the detailed background. When you add distracting background to your portrait painting, it focuses more on the background than the actual person. But if there is a background and it's not distracting at all, you can go for it. And on top of those two, finally, so in Clip Studio, there's a feature called adjusting contrast. If you go to quick filters and then go to adjust, there is this contrast. So what I usually do, I just move up to like 10 or 20 or 30. Look, this is a lot better than this. It looks more real, it looks more vibrant. That's how I make my painting stand out more. I see a lot of people doing this, and that is to avoid confident brush strokes. It makes the artwork blurry, and especially for the contrast, it is extremely ineffective. Why is this bad for the final result? Contrast is the most important factor when painting not only skin. Contrast is the most important thing because you're trying to express what the shape looks like. You gotta add shadows, and to add shadows you need to have confident brush strokes and a good contrast. And yeah, that's it for this really quick skin rendering tutorial, and I hope this helped. Some people were asking to make a tutorial. I tried my best, but it's my first voiceover, so I won't be good at it. Anyways, thanks.